If you've ever set a big goal, like writing a book, finally seeing your abs, growing an audience online, or getting rid of lower back pain, and no matter how hard you try, it still feels impossible, there's one skill you must master: the ability to focus. And in this video, you'll learn exactly how. I'm not teaching Pomodoro timers, time boxing, or any of the dozens of productivity hacks you've already seen, because it doesn't make sense to optimize something that isn't working. Instead, you'll learn 3 foundational actions that take little time, but rewire your brain to lock in every time you sit down to work. If you skip them, you'll spend months working on your goal and barely move forward. But if you do them, you'll finally have the skill to make fast, massive progress toward the goal you want most. Here's the truth: achieving any goal comes down to just 2 things: picking the right thing to do, that's strategy, and doing the right thing, that's execution. But here's where most people fail. They don't fail because they're lazy or unmotivated. They fail because they never learned how to focus. If you can't focus, you can't execute. And if you can't execute, even the best strategy in the world won't help. So in this video, I'll show you how to fix that with 3 simple habits that will completely retrain how your brain works. Most people think that focus is about getting more done in less time. And while that is a great benefit, there's something way more powerful: the depth of your work. I love this example about lifting weights. Most people stop their set once the reps get hard. But as Alex Hormozy says, those next few reps are when you're in the money, meaning that's when the real gains are made, when your muscles get the real stimulation they need to grow. If you quit right before you're in the money, you can spend an hour in the gym, working hard, and literally make 0 progress. It's the same for writing a novel. It's not just about word count, it's about how immersed you can get into your story, your world. More focus equals more depth, meaning you can better recall past plot points, make better connections between events, and tie the story together in a way that isn't possible without intense focus. And this goes for any goal, whether it's developing a smarter business strategy, improving your marriage, raising better kids, or running your first marathon. Focus is the ultimate skill to achieve your goals faster than you ever thought possible. But first, you have to understand this: you've trained your brain not to focus. So focus is not your default mode. And when you enter the gym or sit down at your computer, your brain is already wired to get bored and distracted. And this makes your goal impossible to achieve. But here's the thing: it's not your fault. We live in a dopamine-saturated world that's designed to suck you in. Honestly, it's fucked up. But the good news? We can reverse this. By treating focus like a skill and understanding what it actually takes to build it, you can create simple habits that drastically boost the quality of your output, so you can finally achieve those goals that feel out of reach. When you control your focus, you control your results. It all starts with this crucial step I learned from Rian Doris. Reset your dopamine with boring breaks. If you're like most people, you're probably guilty of using your phone when you take breaks. You check emails, glance at notifications, or worse, you scroll that dreaded social media timeline. It makes sense because it feels relaxing. You don't have to think or worry. You're just taking a nice, enjoyable break. But this habit is destroying your focus. How? Because your break is flooding your brain with dopamine. So now, when you sit down to work, your brain compares this task, which releases less dopamine, to the rush of your phone, and it loses every time. It feels boring and uninteresting, and your brain keeps wandering off, thinking about things that would give it more dopamine. That's why you get distracted. That's why you struggle to focus. It's not because working toward your goal isn't interesting, it's because your dopamine is fried. So here's how to reset it. When you take breaks, or even when you're sitting on the toilet, do something boring. Just sit, walk, stretch, or even better, stare at a wall. No phone, no stimulation. When you do this consistently, something powerful happens. Your brain starts recalibrating. Your deep work, the kind that moves your life forward, feels rewarding because it releases more dopamine than your break. your brain won't want to wander or get distracted because it won't want to lose the dopamine source. That's the first step. Make your downtime boring so your work starts feeling exciting again. It will change your life. But even once you reset your dopamine, you still need to amplify your focus. Which brings us to step 2. Clarify what you focus on. You can't focus on vagueness. And even those who use strategies, plans, and to-do lists, which can be powerful, use them wrong. And it destroys their attention because you can only focus on a singular task. If you sit down to work on your business, your brain doesn't know where to aim. It drifts, checks email, gets coffee, scrolls for a bit, and 2 hours disappear. Or it wanders about the to-do list, picks an item, maybe completes it, then feels accomplished. When really, an hour went by with nothing meaningful done. Clarity fixes that. Before you start any session, ask yourself 2 questions. First, ask, what specifically will move me forward the most? This might be something broad from your strategy or something specific from your to-do list. Then ask, what one thing do I need to complete right now with pure focus? If it's vague, like a workout, you want to define exactly what that looks like first. Which exercises, how many sets, how many reps per set, etc. And a good strategy should already have these pre-designed, like a workout program, so you can immediately step into focused work when the time comes. It's important to define exactly what you'll complete in your focus session before you start. Don't work on a YouTube video, outline the script for your YouTube idea. Don't write the sales page, come up with the headline and sales page premise. Don't find a paper supplier, find 3 paper suppliers to research. It can have multiple actions within it, like respond to all comments in my community, but you should be able to complete it in 1 to 3 sessions. Otherwise, it's too big and vague, ruining the power of focus. The more specific you are, the simpler it becomes to focus, since your brain now has a finish line. This step seems small, but it changes everything. When you know exactly what winning looks like, your mind stops negotiating and starts executing. And that's when you make real progress toward your goal. But without a focus habit, this is just a fantasy. And that's why this last step, training your focus with a focus timer, is so crucial. Imagine you're taking a test. You sit down, timer starts, and suddenly you're locked in. No distractions, no wandering thoughts, just focus. And you complete more work with more accuracy than you ever could if it were just homework. It's a crazy phenomenon, but it's also the key to mastering your focus. So, why do tests bring out our best focus? It has to do with rituals and expectations. You know the test significantly impacts your grade, so you assign it more importance. But it's also a ritual. You sit down, timer starts, timer ends, and the work done inside that time frame gets graded. We need to create a similar ritual and expectation for your deep work to get you to focus better. Here's how to do it. Now that you've chosen your specific task from step 2, first, set a timer for the duration you want to focus on that one thing. 30 to 60 minutes is a good starting point. Second, during that time, do your best to completely focus on that one thing. And third, when the timer ends, pause and ask yourself one question. How well did I focus? It doesn't matter how you did because there's no judgment here. Simply answer the question to yourself and that's it. You can repeat this as many times as you want or just once per day is enough. As long as you do it daily, you'll train your brain like a muscle. Just like a test, your brain knows it's going to be graded on the work. By asking how well you focused, your brain remembers you'll test it afterward. So it takes that promise seriously. After a week or 2, you'll notice you can drop into deep focus faster, stay there longer, and produce higher quality work in less time. Here's the key. It's not about perfection, it's about consistency. And when you stack this habit on top of the other 2, taking boring breaks and clarifying a singular task, you completely rewire how your brain approaches focus. When you follow these 3 steps, You'll feel the difference almost immediately. You get more done, you do it faster, it's way more fun, and the quality of your work skyrockets. The goals that used to feel impossible will finally start to move. You don't need another productivity hack. You just need to fix your dopamine, clarify your focus, and train it like a skill. Do that, and every part of your life gets easier. If you want to achieve any goal, focus is non-negotiable. It's not just how you work, it's how you win. So this week, set your first focus timer. Make your breaks boring and watch how much faster everything in your life starts to move. If you want to take this even further and actually find the real reason you've been struggling to hit your goal, grab the Goal Smash Jumpstart. It's a free, quick guide that helps you uncover the exact obstacle holding you back so you can fix it fast and finally make progress again. You'll find a link to get it in the description below.